So welcome to the session, like what to do after you have received your SNAP scorecards. So today we have received the SNAP scorecard, and I don't think any of the coaching in India has started the symbiosis specific preparation so far. So we were the first to start this. So in this session, we are going to cover mostly two B school, so SIBM Pune and SCMHRD Pune, and other B schools will be following the similar lines. But if you are expecting other calls, you should not miss this. Today we have like Keerthi and Yash with me. So Keerthi is in PGP2 with SIBM Pune, and Yash is in PGP1. Keerthi already received from Wipro, so she'll be joining Wipro soon. Yash doesn't want to disclose the company name with which he is going to intern in like this summers, but he said that he will be revealing this name soon once he got the PPU. So best of luck, yes, for your summer internship. So my name is Prashant, and I'll be like helping you guys for this session. Yes, can you move forward? So
Yes.
first question comes like which I receive, will I'm going to receive the calls with some particular percentile. So there is no finite answers to this. So every year percentile cutoffs are different. So we have put some data from like last 2 years from Kirti's year and yes year. So yes, can so we have seen in 2021 cutoff was 97.6, and last year cutoff was 97.2 for SIBM Pune. Same is the case with SCMHRD. So luckily 96.5 was the cutoff for last 2 years. So no one can predict that what will be the cutoff this year, but in case you are going to score above 97.2, then you should start prepping for SIBM process. And if you have applied for SCMHRD Pune, then you should start your preparation if you are scoring above 96.5. SIB Pune, we are expecting like above 93. SIBM Bangalore is going to call you if you have like 90 plus percentile. SIM no Nasik can be like at 85 plus. These profile, like these calls are and percentiles are not sacrosanct. They can go up and down. So you can take plus minus zero point 0.2, 0.4 percentile. You can see in the case of SIBM Pune. So same can happen with other B schools also. So based on these predictions, you can start your preparation. Yes, you can move forward. So we have a like general exercise PIs and VAT in all symbiosis B schools. So now Kirti and Yash will be sharing their experiences from last 2 year. In the end, I'll be sharing my experiences, but that is too old. So I have appeared in all these SIBM Pune and SCMHRD Pune processes in 2016. So that is like almost 5 years, 7 years back. So we will be hearing today from Yash and Kirti more. Over to you, Kirti.
Hi everyone. I'll be sharing my experience. I appeared for GA pilot process in 2021, and Yash will be sharing his experience. He appeared for the GE pilot process for 2022. So 2021 May, we had a group exercise, written ability test, and personal interview. All of these three processes happened on the same day. So it'll be a bit lengthy of a process. And first we started off the written ability test, and it was a 30-minute test. And they have their own portal where you have to give your answer, and simultaneously you will be on a Zoom call where you'll be proctored. And for me, a problem statement was given on which I had to write an essay. And as I said, it's a 30-minute test. Post which we had a group exercise. So for me, a set of 4 images were shown, as you can see on the screen, and we were given 1 minute to prepare. And initially, all of them in the group, they were given 30 seconds each for the opening remarks, and then an open floor discussion. I for 6 minutes, and then closing remarks again for 30 seconds. And the order in which you will be supposed to give your opening remark and the closing remarks would be given to you prior the process. And then I had the personal interview. So while before appearing for the personal interview, you have to fill a Snapsy form where there are a set of questions. So they'll be asking more questions from what you have written in that Snapsy form. And for me, the interview started off with an extempore. A case was given, and they gave me 30 seconds to prepare and 45 seconds to present the solution. And also, I was asked a guesstimate and more regarding my work experience. I had prior work ex, and now I'm handing it over to Yash to share his experience.
Good evening, everyone. I appeared for the SIBM GEP web process in the last year. The process starts with a written ability test. We were given a 3 by 3 matrix, out of which we had to choose three words. We could choose words either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. We just had to make a proper dialogue or proper passage written where we were connecting all the three words that were presented in front of us. We had 1 minute to go through the matrix, and after that we were given 15 minutes to write our VAT. So the whole process for VAT was about 16 minutes for the last year. After that, we had a group exercise. During the group exercise, we were given a problem statement, and then we were shown four pictures of different industries and four different solutions. We had a couple of minutes to discuss in the beginning to choose one particular industry and two solutions. After that, we were given 8 minutes for our whole discussion and 1 minute to sum up. Anyone from the whole group could sum up the whole discussion that we did, and we had to share that which industry we chose, why did we do that, and why do we think those two solutions lined up with the given industry and the given problem statement. After that, we had our personal interviews. The personal interviews for me began with the basic questions like why do I want to do MBA from SIBM Pune? Why, like, I'm from Maharashtra, so what motivated me to go for SIBM Pune, and why didn't I opt for other examinations or other colleges? Then they asked a few questions around my scores for other examinations, and later on I was given a guesstimate based on based on my city. So be familiar with the population of your city. You'll anyways need that for other interviews as well. And Titik, should I move on to the SCMHRD one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, I have few things to add. So though I have appeared 7 years back, but I'll be discussing my experience also. So my process was like not very much similar to this. So during my year, they have given us the case in which eight people were there, and eight each of us has to take one role. So suppose one person will be the businessman, one person will be the environmentalist. So we need to come to consensus that this plan should be there or not. So this was the group exercise that we got. Then we have like for few 5 to 10 questions on like one liner. So one question I can remember is like, explain yourself in one tweet, or some situation based questions like, in this situation what will you do, and you can't write more than one or two liners in there. And then we had like one video shown in which they have taken like few like 5 to 10 minutes of a video, and that not context was not given in the starting, so they like it was in between, and you need to guess that what exactly they are talking. So there was some non related things were there. And in the personal interview, most of the things were related to me and why do you want to do MBA. And also the extempore was there prior to the personal interview. So I was given like two topics and I need to choose one and then speak on that. So this was my process. So maybe they can bring any of these aspects, so that any of these processes back to the interview. So every year SIBM changes their process. So you can see that from 2021 they have changed to 2022, and it is totally different from what has happened in 2016. So they keep on changing the process to, so no one can predict that this year what they are going to do. So if suppose your interview on the first day and you are the first panelist, or you are the first group who is going to appear for GEP process, so make sure that you have done a lot of exercises. We are going to do a lot of practice also, but it's very difficult to cover in next 15 that all these exercises. But make sure that you have done different exercises on your own, and maybe you can make a small groups and you can do a lot of exercise. So now we can move to
I'd
SMHRD.
like to add one more thing. Last year, SIBM started a new thing where you had to submit a video. They'll give you a time slot of 1 day in which you'll have to create a video of 1 minute where you will have to introduce yourself, just give a few pointers about yourself, in which they'll check, and AI will check your presentability, your openness to people, your sense of humor, like how open you are, or how will you display yourself in front of a panel, and you'll get a score based on that. That's
Yeah,
something that was added last year.
so we have seen that even SPJMR process, you need to just say the 10 lines about, like 10 random lines about yourself, or 10 random lines. So we have a tendency, or we have a bias in our mind, that we always portray ourselves in the positive light. So don't think about positivity. You can be humorous also, or maybe some gray areas about you. Maybe you have some weakness also, or you get nervous in some situations. It's natural that you get nervous, right? Even after 5-10 years in the career, people get nervous before their meetings, or big meetings, or when they appear for interviews. So it's natural. So if you are given a situation where you need to tell something about yourself, or you need to ask, uh, give 10 liners about yourself, it's very difficult to give all 10 positive lines, or uh, about yourself, right? So whatever comes to your mind, just go ahead and just talk about that. Just don't fumble on those points. I have seen people, when they ask like few things about you, not so good things about you, people fumble on these questions. Not so good things is like the area that you are already working. Maybe you are not happy with your cat percentile, don't talk about that. Cat is already that different aspect. You have done good in snap, right? So maybe you can talk about snap, that though I'm not done good in cat, but still I was able to manage snap. So that is the different ball game, right? So maybe you are the player of that thing. So use these lines. Suppose you are a player, or you can take some inspirations from the areas that you love, right? So use those liners. Don't think that you are asked to portray yourself in the positive light only. Now you can move to SMHR. Yes, you can start.
Okay. Last year in SMHRD, VAT took place on a different date than group exercise and personal interview. We had different slots for giving VAT. Um, we had two different questions in VAT. On the first question, we were given the first and the last dialogue of a conversation between two people. We had to write a conversation between those two people, where we had to write four dialogues for A and four dialogues for B. It had to be a connected conversation, and it should make sense. It should be grammatically correct, obviously. And then for the second question, we were given four sets of images. Like, it was one of the questions was of a hare and tortoise story, but in a different angle. We had to connect all those four pictures, what we see, what we can make of it. We had to write a proper story, and we also had to give a title to that images shown there. After that, we had a group exercise in which an image was shown, and we had to discuss about the same in 8 minutes. And in the similar fashion, we were given 2 minutes to wrap up the discussion and to give a conclusion. Any one or two people from the group could give the conclusion. And then we had a personal interview questions. The questions were mostly based from the Snapseed form, a few basic HR questions regarding why MBA, why SCMHRD Pune, and so on. Over to you, Keerthi.
So for me, I had a written ability test that was on another day, not on the day of the process. And for the group exercise, a problem statement was given, and it was a moderated group exercise. Similar to SIBM's process, we had to give opening statements. Then it was an open for discussion, and then we had to give closing remarks. And in the personal interview, they actually, I had also applied for their business analytics course. So they'll ask about your preference and why have you applied for both the programs, if you fill the form for both, and what you have written in the Snapseed form, and also the HR questions. And for me, a few questions from my work were also asked. And in the group exercise, mainly they evaluate you for your individual performance and how you actually gel with the group, how you initiate, how you help the group to reach a consensus. And the group reaching a consensus is very important, while a very important aspect for the evaluation.
Okay, so now I'll share my experience. So as Yes has already discussed, that you will be given some pictures, and you need to come up with a story and connecting all those 3 or 4 pictures, whatever they have. So this was one of the VAT process I got. Then we were taken to the room where a group of 8 were there, and we were given the half case study. So you need to discuss for 10 minutes, and after those 5 to 10 minutes you will be given the another half of the story. So there it is always recommended that you don't take instance because you have just gone through the half case study or whatever case study is there, right? So maybe people has taken some instance and they will be completely opposite had happened in the next half that case studies. So this was uh, VAT and group exercise that I have gone through. Then again, PIs was mostly on the similar line regarding myself and why MBA or my work ex related question. So this is something SCMHRD will be going to ask. Yes, can you move forward? So scoring criteria will be 50% weightage is to SNAP score, then 50% weightage is going to be group exercises, PI and VAT score. So key point that you need to remember after you have got your SNAP score. So there will be forms coming from in each B school like SIBM, SCMHRD. Don't miss on the deadline. So you'll be getting particular days. You need to complete those. Specialization is specific questions. So maybe you are interested in marketing, finance, or anything like related to product management or anything. So be ready with that. Guesstimates, we are going to lot of practice in coming days, but guesstimates, just keep on thinking that how many Zomato orders are placed in your city or Delhi or Mumbai, how many Uber rides will be there at a Delhi airport. And similar guesstimate question I'm giving you, just have a thing that how you're going to approach that. Then current affairs, what is happening around you, just they don't ask really about history and more things, but what is like happening around you. Maybe your interviews will be nearer to budget, so they can ask that what is your view on the budgets. So now, Kirti, if you have anything to add, you can add.
Yeah, so as I've mentioned, for the group exercise, you have to give an individual impression as well as how you perform well with your group. And current affairs would also help you in your written ability test. Mostly, it will be a picture-based written ability test. So, how well you can relate the current affairs to what pictures you were given. And for the personal interview, Snapsy form is very important. You have to get your answers reviewed by your mentors before you're submitting the form. And very likely, the slots for the interview, the entire process would be first come, first serve basis pay. So you have to do it very fast. And uh, the mentors will guide you regarding how to go about for guesstimates. So that's completely fine.
Just a small pointer from my side. When you'll be going for the GPI VAT process, I'll suggest you to use a wired earphone, because during my SIBM process, I was using a wireless and the battery died of my earphone. And I was in the group exercise process. I missed out on 5 minutes because my laptop was not giving me the audio after I disconnected the earphones, and it cost me marks, which really costed me during the process. Luckily, my PI went really good, so I didn't have to face that many problems. But I would suggest for all your interview processes, whether it be for SIBM, SCMHRD, or for other B school, please join from your laptop using a wired earphone and not a wireless one. And for the those who are here for SIIB or SIBM Bangalore or SIBM Nasik, the process is same more or less. Especially VAT and group exercise would be on the same pattern. Personal interview questions for a college like SIBM Nasik, which is more focused on operations, will vary. You will be asked questions regarding operations way more than other topics. In SIBM and SCMHRD, you will be asked in your interview what's your preference for a specialization. Be prepared with a few, like why are you going for a particular specialization. You should have a fair idea about that. Even if you are not fixed, give an answer to the interviewer. You can change your specialization once you come to the college. They are not going to note it down, but you need to give an answer during the interview. So be prepared for that as well.
Okay, yes, you can move forward. Okay, so this is like few other these call converts we have. So We haven't put specific to SIBM, SCMHRD. So we have started very early as soon as we received the call. So we have worked hard for this to put all this deck at the place. If you're looking to enroll for like SIBM specific or symbiosis specific preparation, you can enroll as early as possible. Now, yes, you can move. So this is all from our side. If you have any doubts, you can reach out to us. If you want to enroll, you can ask for the discount coupons, or if you are facing any financial constraint, we'll be ready to give you some discount. So thank you. Thank you from my side. Thank you, Yash and Kirti, from taking time from your busy schedule. Thanks.